Hiya! So it's Friday the 8th of April, so 2 weeks and 2 days after my surgery. I said in my last video that I'd come on and just tell you how I am feeling. So I went through all the physical aspects of the recovery and everything. I thought I'd come on and tell you how I was feeling about the whole thing, that like results and everything else coming up. But also I thought you might like to see what my scars look like latest. So if I move over here and go like, oh la la, this, I know it's working now. So so this is my axilla, my armpit one, and as if by magic, this one is my breast one. So as you can see, they are both healing really well, so I'm really happy with those. And yeah, still a bit tender. I think that's going to happen for quite a while, but all in all, I can't complain. So feelings wise, do you know what? It's weird because I'm really not phased. I don't even know. I don't know if I'm not thinking about it, or it's very out of body-esque. It's almost like this is happening to someone else, and I don't get the feeling that I'm gonna crumble in a heap or anything like that. I mean, in essence, I'm still waiting on results to see if it spreads, and of course if it spreads, then that will mean I'll have to go down chemotherapy route and obviously see if it's anywhere else. At the very least, well, obviously the best case scenario is that they've managed to get it all and that it hasn't spread to my lymph nodes. Now, I'll discuss this a little bit more once I've got my results, but that in itself is throwing up a few weird things. It's almost like it's too good to be true if that is the case. But yeah, I'm gonna examine and dissect that in my mind a little bit more as and when I know the results, because it's pointless trying to do it too much until then, because it might not be that. So that's the best case scenario. Second, which I'm sort of prepping myself for, is that they haven't managed to get clear margins. So when they remove a tumour, my understanding is that they remove the actual tumour itself, obviously, and then they remove some of the apparently healthy tissue around it, and they need to get certain measurement of clear tissue, so tissue that hasn't got any cancer cells in it, and it has to be all around it. So they call that clear margins. And if it doesn't fit that criteria, if it's just under a little bit, then they will have to go in and do what they call a shave, which is they shave a little bit more tissue off from the area that wasn't clear, and then hopefully they will have those clear margins. So I'm sort of expecting that, because the consultant did say in the initial appointment at diagnosis that, I'm sure she said it's like 1/3 of people end up having to have that done. I might be making that statistic up, but she did definitely say that it's more common than not. Yeah, don't hold me on the 1/3. I've read that somewhere. It's come from somewhere, but I am not sure how accurate it is. But I'm sort of prepping myself for that, because the tumour was so close to my chest wall. I just can't see how they would have got clear margins on that side of it, in fairness. But these are all questions that I'll ask at the appointment anyway, which is now less than 2 weeks away. It's 1 week and 6 days to be precise. So yeah, I'll ask that. So the whole thing of how I'm feeling, it's very strange, because you would expect there's so much uncertainty and it could potentially be like really bad news. You would expect that I'd be going down the dark thought processes that I had the first time round, but I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just not thinking about it at all. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Now, whether that's going to change as that date comes closer, I don't know. I think what is more likely the case, and the reason why, is because back then I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. In fact, it was quite embarrassing coming from a medical background how little I knew about breast cancer, which, to let myself off the hook slightly, I've never dealt with it in midwifery. And as I say, I don't really know anyone that's been through it that's close to me that I can talk to. So I should give myself a little bit of slack. But it's shocking how little we as the general public do know. Because I've said it before, to me it was cancer, I mean breast cancer in this case, but cancer equals death, full stop. Whether it was in the next few weeks, in the next year, in 10 years time, it's your death sentence. And since then I have researched and I've become so much more informed about breast cancer that I'm not that sounds strange, I'm not that worried anymore. It's not that I'm not worried, I am of course worried, but I'm not letting myself dwell on it, because I know that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna snuff it in a few months' time. So there's still loads and loads that can be done, basically. That's it. So I think the knowledge is king, or queen, or whatever royal member you want to call it, but I think the knowledge is the power in this, and arming yourself with enough knowledge about what the cancer is, how the cancer spreads, how it works, what treatments are, and also selecting the stories you read, trying to incorporate lots and lots of the recovery, the survival stories, not just the sad ones, which tends to be the ones that we all hear about. So this time I am much more relaxed about it, because I think to myself, the worst case scenario is that it's spread, and it's unlikely that it's in other parts of my body, but there's always that possibility. What will be, will be. It'd be shit, but there's nothing I can do about it. And, well, there's plenty I can do about it, but there's nothing I can do about that side of the outcome. That doesn't make much sense. I know what I'm talking about, I think. I'm going to make lots of changes in my life. I'm going to become fitter and healthier and try and maintain that. So make lots of changes in that sense, and that will give me that sense of being able to do something, or doing something about it. But ultimately, if worst case scenario and the cancer has spread and it's somewhere else, which I keep getting told is very unlikely in my case, but if it has, then we'll just deal with it. Just deal with it when it happens. It's as simple as that. But I'm not thinking like that. I'm not even thinking, I wouldn't say I'm being negative, and I wouldn't say I'm being positive. I'm just being in the moment. I'm not focusing on the what ifs, because at this moment in time, it's pointless. It's wasted energy. I don't know what those results are going to say, and it could be a number of things. So what's the point in second guessing? Just get on with life. My life is busy enough to sort of like take my mind off it, so that's what I'm going to do. And I get that it could be very easy to just sit and dwell on it, but you'd have to almost allow that to happen. I would anyway. I'd have to be allowing that to happen, because I know the way I work, if I busy myself, if I do something else, if I take my mind off that, then it will be exactly that. It'll be off that, and it'll be on to something else. So that's how I work, and I highly recommend, if anyone else is watching this and they can't stop thinking about it, then do that. Find something to busy your mind that is not related to it whatsoever. I'm not going to say that it's going to be constant. I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy, but for your own sanity, you need to try and find something that works for you. Right, somehow I've managed to get to over 10 minutes again. Oh my God, you'll be sick of my voice. But I am going to go now, and yeah, I think that was it. So I will see you all later. You all take care. Have a lovely, I was going to say weekend. Probably not the weekend when you're watching this, so it might not be, but whatever day it is, have a lovely day. All right, you all take care. See you later. Bye.